Good morning, morning. I know it's 11:30 and what's my what have I got to say for myself, right? I've been trying to get a lot of things done. I got a lot of things to do today, so I probably won't be able to spend too much time here. But I do have a couple of things I want to try to accomplish. Really, what where I got to last time was trying to get my page to load and start consuming um, my auth API. Now, I did actually get the auth API functioning, and I was in the process of trying to get it all consumed. Now, I was having issues. Surprise, surprise. Seems to be the case for me a lot, is that I kind of get myself a little off track. I start failing, hitting walls, wall after wall after wall. Everything's new, right? So you hit something new because it's like, oh, I haven't done this before. It's like, whoa, this is way harder than it should be. But what can I do? Just got to keep trying. So, and it is kind of sticking. I mean, I have spent a lot of time in React as of late, and I got to go back to Blazor, but I don't want to do that until I've locked down my authentication functionality in one app first, and then I'll switch over back to Blazor, and we'll have to figure out the problems I was having with getting Blazor to function nicely. Um, so I'm going to go back over there in just a moment, or I'll go back to my code here in just a moment, and we'll kind of see where we're at. Let's open up my auth API. So I'm going to have to go to AMG authorize. Now, again, I'm hoping I don't need to edit this anymore for today, because that's kind of not the... do I have this open twice? Oh, no, this is just my JSON. Okay, so we're going to go here, and we will run it. Now this will open up my API so that I can make my calls and do what I need to do with it. Last time I ran into the problem. I wasn't being able to trigger my auth because I'd hit it and it was saying it wasn't authorized. So it was not authorized to even make the call, is what I'm saying. My core's functionality was not functioning. Well, I hadn't fully implemented it correctly. So we're going to be trying to get that fixed first, because obviously I can't do any implementation of my stuff until I can get my core's parts functioning. So we're going to go back here. I don't know. I'm going to have to log in and see where we're at. Now, I am using both ChatGPT and Blackbox AI for guidance, code samples. It has not been 100%, obviously, so I've been doing YouTube and Google, and of course trying to find other expert input. I have found, to be honest, ChatGPT and Blackbox AI are proving to be better resources than the experts out in the world. But not always is that ideal, okay? So one of the problems is you're just being given code, right? So if you're just being given code, it can make it difficult to learn the code. You don't know the whys, the wheres, the what fors. And this is what kind of tripped me up a little bit early on in my learning, is that I would put stuff into my auth API and I didn't really know what I was putting in. I mean, I knew I saw the code and I saw how it was coming together, and I understand, the builder and the API objects, and the app objects and all the stuff that needed to happen to make it happen. But understanding what the settings that it was giving me were, it was not explaining those, because ChatGPT doesn't explain the settings. So a lot of times I was like, well, why is it using this setting? And then I'd go to Blackbox AI and it would give me another one, be different settings. And a lot of that was understanding, well, I'm using a bearer token here, but yet this one's saying JWT bearer token, which is different slightly from a bearer token. You can do a JWT bearer, you can do JWT, and you can do bearer. Bearer is usually just a token. JWT is, well, it's not a bearer token. It's not opaque, and it's information you can pass back and forth. But a JWT bearer token is opaque and has to be basically decrypted. It's opaque. Has to be dealt with in order to even be read. That's kind of what's happening there. It's an extra layer of security where you're giving up the simplicity of just a bearer token over the simplicity of JWT token, which is more flexible. So you're kind of like you're basically implementing bearer token opacity with JWT functionality, because JWT functionality allows you to pass more information back and forth. Now, I'm currently only passing back the token, and therefore it's not as good. But now that I'm using it as a JWT, I can actually put more into it, add things like emails and username and whatever else I want to stick in there to make it be more consumable, to be more usable. Right now, I'm doing it generic. Now, what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to have to go start my app again. I don't even know what it thinks is running, but we're going to rerun it. This will open up, or allow me to open up my actual application again, and we can go see what's blowing up. Now again, it's the cores. It's saying that it's not passing through correctly. I haven't figured out the why on that yet. I kind of stumbled with the cores before when I tried to set it up, so I'm obviously missing some cores tidbit, what that is, from what I did the first time. And oftentimes that's how it is with code too. Being given the solution or having done the solution one time is not as likely to stick as having done it a couple, 2, 3, 4 times, because you've done it. You don't quite remember it the second time, but hopefully the third time, the fourth time, whatever, will be okay. So you can see I've got a problem. Already got a problem. I'll show you what that is. I mean, you probably can see it on my screen. Let's go see what we have here. All right, so you see this hello object promise? That means I'm half failed on my navbar load. This is supposed to be checking to see if I have a cookie. As you can see, it thinks I have a cookie, or sort of, kind of, in a way. Failed to load resource. The server responded with a status of 400, bad request. Cookie not found. Cookie not found is fine, technically, because there isn't a cookie. I have not created that cookie. So I do get the, if it's cookie not found, it's supposed to say login here. The question is, why didn't it? It says hello, which if it's saying cookie not found, just trying to see if I'm case sensitive to the situation. So my user email did not come back as cookie not found, probably because whatever fetched email from token returned, it did not return. It did not return my email. So the email probably came back broken, and that's why it says object promise up here. I should be returning, let's go look at my fetch email from token, which is probably going to be here. I can't always remember where I put stuff. Get post. Oh wait, no, that's actually in that page. Never mind. It's probably right here. There it is, fetch email from token right at the top. Okay, so we're going to go here. It's a get include. Okay, so if response.ok console.log email from token. So we did not get a response.ok, but something else happened because we're not getting error. We didn't get email from token. We did get error. Data.message. So I think that's the problem. I didn't actually return anything. Interesting, I think my fetch email from token is not returning a value in any case. Because I have data here. And what's it read? What if data is not a thing? Data.email, data.message, but neither one of them return. Huh. So what if, so basically this should be return data.message, and let's see if that works. Oh, is that not in scope? Oh, it's not in scope. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay. Return. All right, we're going to go cookie not found. I'm not totally sure I can do that either. I've never returned an actual string, so I don't know if that's going to work. That might not work, because I don't know if this is expecting an object of some kind. I'm thinking the answer is no. I'm thinking it's expecting an object of some kind. I don't know if I can do that, but we're going to try. Return data.email. And again, I might be bouncing off the wrong track. I don't know if I can do that. I feel like my function should be returning something. It shouldn't just be console.log nothing. I mean, we got to return something for this to return and set my email object here. Because I'm not even giving a data object back. There's nothing coming back. Now this is going to raise an error, console.error, which means I expect, well, that's not really even raising an error, is it? Maybe I can just go. Huh. Yeah, let's see what it does. I'm gonna control S this. I'm actually gonna close my app and restart it. There is a weirdness about first time run, and I really want this to work as a first time run. I've noticed that things sometimes work when I'm navigating back and forth. Hey, Jose. How you doing, man? Yes, it could be, but right now, part of, because I have the API here. Let's see. Here's the API. And yeah, I put in the cores command, or the cores permission. Here I got the policy, add cores. And I have the app use cores and the routing. But yeah, I could have something syntactically wrong here. I could have something else going on. So you're right. I'm just going to try and first fix this piece that's just when the cookie's not there. Because when I first load the app, of course, the cookie's not there. And I want to make sure that works correctly. And then, yeah, I'm going to come and troubleshoot that problem. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at that in just a moment. You may very well be right. Because I did kind of do the, what do you call it, the chat GPT thing, where I would like, okay, kind of give me how to put, set cores up correctly. And I looked at some of it and goes, well, I don't need any of that or any of that. I only need these pieces. So it's quite possible, because I already had the other stuff in there. It was mostly already there. Or I was like, well, that doesn't apply to my setup. I could be wrong that I missed one or two things that were actually, in truth, actually required. So yeah, in just a moment, as soon as I get, this shouldn't be too hard to fix, I hope. We're gonna, so when this loads up, what this is supposed to say is just have a login at the top. It shouldn't say hello, shouldn't say anything. But see how it says hello object promise at the top, this guy here? That's wrong. So we're still getting a bad read on, I mean, it's supposed to be an error, yes, because there's no cookie. That's probably a good idea. And yeah, I'll definitely do that. This is my current problem here. I want to get this to look right so that, I'm moving forward without having flaws in my, oh, do you see the problem on what I'm doing here? So I got syntax. Oh, I got a syntax error. Whoops. That doesn't even. What I did here is just syntactically broken. Invalid or unexpected token. Wow, there isn't a token. I know I don't have that. I should. Oh, you're right. There's an await there, isn't there? Huh. Is that what's tripping me up? So, all right. So we got invalid or unexpected token. All right. Line 41. Oh, here? No. But that means if I put an await here, that means my function has to have async in it, doesn't it? Oh, that's well, maybe that's the problem. Yeah, and I still oh well, something's happening. Unhandled runtime, loading chunk. Yeah, I think it's just blowing up because I did something that changed key elements in the middle of the process. There are certain things that don't reload right. I still feel like this is not right. I did notice that this function I'm using doesn't return anything, so I added these return methods. Hopefully, hopefully that'll, or at least it doesn't look like it returns anything. I am still, the navbar component is a client-side object. It's the top bar that you see at the top of the screen. Alright, looks like we're still... Wait, did it actually load? I don't think it actually loaded. This is the... Well, that'll definitely break things then. So is my problem that fetch email is part of my client component and I need to push this into a back component? I mean, ultimately it could be just doing it the wrong way. All I'm trying to do, okay, so let me kind of give you a background of what I'm actually trying to accomplish with this. Is, like I said, it's really just, this nav bar is not actually going to send them back to the login page. All I want to do is have it say, if a person's logged in, if we have the token or the login cookie, I'm sorry, the token cookie available, then just say, hello so-and-so. And eventually it'll say their name, but right now I'm just going to say hello. I don't want to say anything else, just say hello. If we don't have that token cookie, that cookie yet, then just say log in. Nothing else. And so this way when they click on login, it takes them to the login page and then we can log them in and go forward. And so ultimately I was trying to figure out or trying to come up with the best way to do this, because obviously some things can't be done client and obviously some things can be done server. I just need to read the cookie, see if it exists, and if there's an error that says doesn't exist, then we're just gonna say log in. That's all I want to do. I just want the cookie to say it doesn't exist here. So I can't do the await here. which would explain this errors, I'm sure. Yeah, it just says right there, no async. So we are getting, I gotta go back to my inspect here, console. I'm gonna clear this guy. I'm just gonna refresh it. I don't know what it's gonna do here. Okay, so we're still getting cookie not found. We're getting the right response. We're getting the right error. I expect that, I mean, cookie not found is correct. But I need to find out, I need to get some kind of a response back. Use effect. Yeah. I just got away from use effect. Well, maybe that's the problem. I don't know why. Maybe I heard something somewhere. I don't know what it is. Maybe I read something. And again, I've been just, so I started learning my React Next.js just couple months ago. And I've been trying to do a lot of things. I've been basically spreading myself pretty thin, trying to learn React, Next.js, Python, Azure. I spent a lot of time doing Azure for like a month and a half, and I'm still got to finish that because I'm 3/4 of the way through it. Azure 2.204, Azure 204, you know, the certification for developer. So I came back to React, so I'm a little rusty since I did my Net Ninja class. And even then, I was just, you know, that took me a few days or a week. So yeah, I'm pretty new. I'm very, very, very green in the whole React world, and I'm just kind of starting to grasp how everything's kind of like what imports, you know, well, obviously I know what imports are, but you know, how things all work together. Yeah, see, I turned off the use effect because it wasn't working, and I'll tell you, um, see, will this undo it? Okay, it does. See, I mean, I was getting other problems. Like I was fetching my cookie, or I was having trouble calling my cookie, or it wasn't responding correctly. So yeah, I was still having some issues with this. Um, so this use effect you see is syntactically correct, but I don't think it's making all the right calls right now because it was referencing a different code base. I had before my underlying API and everything all kind of broke. And one of the errors I was getting, I believe, is it still showing up now? No, it's not showing right here. Was that it was saying API cookie. It couldn't find API cookie, which as you can see is right here, API cookie. So it's definitely there. So I don't know of what was going on there. But so if I go into my cookie here, and I was trying to do a get, because that's what I wanted to do, and it's supposed to go in here, call my API cookie, which is supposed to return whatever I needed it to, the decoded token or whatever. And I was thinking the problem was there was no cookie yet. Let's see, where was I with this one? Because again, I'm changing my direction. So if cookie not found was an expected return, and so if it was cookie not found, we'd load up correctly, but it wasn't working. So I tried to go, okay, maybe I need to rewrite this because it's pointing at it. It's pointing at it differently now. So that's kind of where I was. Now we were using cookie.value here, and I'll take cookie.value because let's switch over and go use cookie.value again. I'm gonna go here, Control V, and I say it wasn't working for the life of me. It would say it didn't like my cookie. See, now it's cookie not found error. Still getting the cookie not found error. So we have cookie value, cookie not found, it's console.log, data.cookie values get set by the data. And the only errors I see I got to get rid of this. Let's take this off first. Basically, I'm trying to get back to where I was. Yeah, and I've seen a couple of examples of that. I haven't tried them yet, where it basically just says you just like use a cookie object and you go try to look at cookie something or other. And right, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to read the auth cookie that's supposed to be created. I expect it to say cookie not found, and then once it's logged in, I can get the cookie and try to see, oh, it's logged in. Then I would call my eventually, I'll have it call the auth. I'll have it call the auth. No, sorry. I will try to have it read the JWT bearer token and pull the email name or the username off, and it'll say hello user. Versus right now, it's just going to say hello. So it's just either cookie exists or hello, or cookie does log in or hello are the only two options. And one is whether we have a cookie now. Jose, I appreciate it. Any help, people want to offer. I'm always, willing to try things as I'm trying to learn it. I will. I'm obviously going to continue forward and try to figure this out. But have a good meeting, man. Oh, I'm so stiff. How goes it, Dave?
Fine, I'm leaving
Where are you going?
school.
You going to school? Oh yeah, you're back to work, huh?
Well, set up classroom. I don't know, maybe a couple hours or so, I guess.
All right.
Put his paper away, I logged it, and changed the tail light. He said 2 were out, and he said there were some weird LED ones in that mess with the whole system of the car, so they just use their bulbs. So don't buy LED bulbs.
Did he tell you why?
He just said
Because usually you can put LEDs in, but sometimes you have to put something in to compensate. And
you could call him and ask, but he said, yeah, they were just messing with his car or whatever.
it could be too that if it was 1 and 1,
Yeah.
that could be a problem. Like they wouldn't have the right current.
Yeah.
But because LEDs are typically better and they last a lot longer.
Right.
But it's like you say, an older system might not be set up right. So yeah. Oh yeah.
So he said, yeah. But he didn't charge for the bulb or nothing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Love
Let me do. All right, let's see what we can get here. So we do have, we're back to user emails not defined, which is expected because we don't have it. But, wait a minute. User email, I thought I just disabled user email though. Or do I still have a reference? Oh, I do still have it down here. Oh, because that's what I'm going to eventually pass. I want to, yeah, what do I put in there? I'd rather, Here's kind of what I'm thinking here. Again, this is just me stopping to pause. So I have cookie value coming back as the set cookie data.cookie value, which is what I got set up there. But when the API cookie is actually called and response equals, and then we got data is going to be the value that we're going to have data.cookie value. But I'm going to have multiple, see here's the thing, I'm going to have multiple cookie values. There's going to be more than one, and I don't see here where I'm actually calling the specific value. Like I'm trying to set it up to be able to call, like to just parse the token and have the token and the email and the user. And that's kind of what the objective of this was, right? So to get it and then be able to read the data and have it be data.email, because I'm actually using API cookie. I'm going to do method get and go get the values that I want out of it. So I'm pretty sure I'm probably missing something here. I wanted the fetch token to be a little bit more robust, so that it's right now it's just going to be generic. It's either going to be cookie not found / email value or some value that I'm going to put in there. But the email is going to come back as either cookie not found or the email or something, whatever I put in there. But so I was just trying to set it up as a basis for future tokens or for future version of the token. And obviously we can't quite do that. And yeah, I have to set up this function as an async, which means that I have to do it as an await, which means I have to do it as a, yeah, we're not going to get what I want here. So something is not working. All right. I was trying to get away from the use effect, to be honest. I really didn't want to use it. I don't know why. Use effect can also be done, what? It's in the, using a hook. See, well, is it the one? Is that the one that replaces use effect, using hooks instead? That's what use AMG authorize is. That's a hook for the authorization. But that doesn't happen here. That's going to be during the validations or during the login phase of logging in. AMG authorize is the name of my auth API. So I am going to figure this out. I know I'm close. I've had this working already before. Well, partially. The above error occurred in the not found component. All right, let's go back to my I wonder if I want to. I am. I'm gonna go here. Sumit, how you doing, man? I'm gonna go try black box again. I do remember. I remember you being here. Don't necessarily remember our conversation. I do remember. I do remember having you visit. Okay, so back to my task. All right, so all right, let me try and see if I can simplify this in a way that Blackbox can write this for me correctly. Because I've found Blackbox requires a little bit more precision in your writing. Because it will give you options that are like way off the base. And what I'm trying to accomplish is, let's just write it exactly how I want. How do I write a hook or use effect code step? No, it's too complex. Let's just say what I want. How do I return text from a value in a JWT bearer token? How do I return text from a value in a JWT bearer token stored in a cookie when available, or cookie not found when it is not? To a next JS component, next JS client. Nope, I gotta be I got to be very specific because if I don't, it's going to give me a sample that doesn't apply to my stuff. Next.js client page. Oh, wait, Next.js client component. How do I, all right, how do I do this? How do I fetch? From, how do I fetch text from a value from a Next.js client component? That's a lot of complexity. Black box AI writes nice. It's pretty precise for what it does, but it doesn't always give you what you want. As is with any AI, right? But I've noticed ChatGPT can be a little bit more specific, but I've found that black box AI can really jump the tracks. There's 1 second I'll be asking it, I'll be staying in conversation, it'll stay on topic, like I'm referring to previous code, and all of a sudden it'll say, you can do it this way, and it's like totally rewritten. Like they just said, hey, here's a totally different option. And I'm like, that's not what I was looking for. So I'm going to try whatever it says here if I think it can apply. Let's see. All right, and I'm okay. I'm up for any solution because in this scenario, this is the least complex scenario. This is just me checking, does a cookie exist? If not, if yes, give me a basic response. If no, then just tell me the cookie doesn't exist. And I'm good because I can just read that as what I want. Because I'm just going to, all I'm doing is setting up a link that either says hello or it says log in, because that's all you got. You're going to be hello or log in. That's all it's going to do right now. Eventually it'll say hello and have the person's name. And when you click on it, it'll take them to their account page. It's going to take them to the account page anyway if it says hello, but it's just not going to have a name on it right now. Okay, so first you need to get the cookie. All right, so let's try it this way. I'm going to just write their solution here. Did I even put it? Problem is, I've been doing things and trying different things, and sometimes I end up with like extra imports and stuff that aren't getting used. But we'll see. I think I might have this thing already installed because I have been importing all kinds of stuff lately. That's next. It's React. Let's go here. I'll just say import cookies from js-cookie. I'm going to go here. And obviously we're not using it yet. We're going to go down into my thing here. We're going to go, let's just see what this, let's just pretend like all this stuff doesn't exist. Constant cookie value equals cookie stuff get my cookie name, which is ACL_AU_token. I forgot if I did it all capitals. I think it's not. You're like, this is why you do it one way. It's like, well, yeah. I usually like to have, like, if it's a word, like token, I will usually lowercase the rest of the letters. But if I'm using a bunch of abbreviations, yeah, see, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. It is not capital here. So I don't know. I don't know what the standard is on that, but I have my own standards up until somebody tells me that that's the wrong standard for good reason. Oh, that's double cookie value. Let's just say user email. Let's just pretend like it's going to give me what I want. User email. All right. Interestingly enough, it's cookies.get your cookie name, which is the cookie, is all it's going to get from me. So I'm going to have to say I should probably just call it. Is there a way to read off of that cookie? Because what if I want the cookie email? Import JWT from JWT token. See, then I gotta decode it here. And this is where I want to encapsulate my functionality. I don't want it to do all that stuff in my client pages. That's what I was trying to do with like the fetch email, where I go to the cookie page and say, here, handle this cookie, give me what I want, and then send me back what I need. Because I don't want my individual components like navbar JSX decoding cookies, trying to read the cookies, and doing all this crap. I just want to have it. I just want it to do it, you know. See here, so we've got, if you want to use effect hook to fetch the text value when the component. Oh, wait, is this one using a to fetch text from JW rare token stored in a cookie when available or cookie not found when it is not from a next. You can follow. See, when it is not from a Next.js client opponent, which is not what I'm doing. This is like if I'm calling it from, you know, one of these other components. It's not a client; it's a server component. But if I want to do it from a client component, if you want to use effect hooked to fetch the text value when the component mounts, you can do this. No, make sure to replace your cookie name. Well, no kidding. But see, now my cookie, now my use effect is doing the breakdown of the cookie. I don't want it doing that. I want my components to be stupid when it comes to the cookie. That's what I want. I want them to just go, hey, man, can you give me the value of this cookie? It's going to be cookie not found or an email value. That's all it's going to be. And, or a name, or whatever I have that component do. And so for every page that wants to do this, if it wants to do anything related to it, it just calls that component or the piece that says, hey, let's see, how would I do this in a use effect where the cookie, where it calls another component to get the cookie value instead of embedding it in the use effect. You can create a separate function to get the cookie value and call it in the use effect hook. That's what I want to do. That's what I was trying to do with the whole fetch email from token bit. Let's see if that does anything. Alright, so they got to get cookie value, your cookie, return cookie value. See, what's interesting is still, how is that breaking down the cookie value? It just says cookies.get your cookie name. I have multiple values in my cookie. How is it doing that? My cookie is a JWT bearer token and has more than one value in it. How do I pull just one value in the check mention? Alright, so here we go. Cookie getter. Okay, so here's the part where they're breaking it down. Decoded. So I got to decode the cookie in my cookie getter, as he calls it. It's calling it a cookie getter. Sure. Only thing is, I still want my cookie getter to be in another. Oh, it is. Okay, so they have it right here. All right, so it's in there. It's in another file, is basically what I was trying to say. And I think I tried to do this earlier, and this is when it was tripping up. It was saying, hey, I can't do this. because I wanted to be able to do something like I'm putting it in my cookie. So if I call API cookie, I wanted my get. Basically, that's what my get was supposed to be doing, right? So I'm going to do a get, and then I'd call this get, which would return cookie not found, or would return whatever value that's in the request that says, you know, how do I, and that's what it was all coming down to. I just wanted my get method to say, return my cookie value, cookie not found, whatever I wanted, or my email, or whatever I said. And so then my code here was going to be smart. And I always say gonna be because, I don't know, maybe I can't make it, or be dumb. So I got API cookie, I got response.j, then response equals response.json, and data equals set cookie data. So, and where is, it's like it's getting, and this is a get method. So it's supposed to be calling this set cookie value data error console. So all I want to do is error fetching cookie. So simply put, maybe I'm asking the wrong question still. I mean, I could make my get method be the cookie getter. I kind of laugh because it's a funny, kind of a funny name here. Then in your main component, they're doing the use effect. See, that's kind of what I wanted. See how simple that is? My component just says email equal cookie getter dot email, and then my cookie getter goes and does whatever it's doing. See, it doesn't even use a use effect. It just does it. And cookie getter does its bit. I'm gonna, and cookies dot get your cookie name. Now I could be barking up the wrong tree again, but I'm going to try this again. Return decoded username, decoded email. But if it fails, return null. Okay, well, I can do null. I think I can function off of a null. And then, yeah, all right, let's try this. And my get is not functionally doing anything yet. I mean, nothing is calling my get yet. Nothing is calling my get yet. So I wonder if I could just put this in my get. And then what if I my brain is thinking other options, like should I use a hook? So here's why I'm thinking this stuff. It's either I put it in the get and make it read me back as a get, or because I want to put it in a cookie object that's going to handle all my cookie stuff, the post, the get, whatever. Well, it could also be whatever. What is it? Delete and update. I don't know. I think those are the other ones. But if it's a post and a get, I want it to be in my cookie object, which is fine. Otherwise, I have to create it as a separate component. If I'm going to create it as a separate component, like instead of being in my API cookie, it'd be API something else. That's just why I don't know. I mean, I guess you can, and yes, it's a good practice. But for this purpose, I would like my cookie to be kind of encapsulated in my cookie object. And I don't know. I mean, can I easily convert that to a... Let's try this. Convert this code to make cookie getter a get method in a cookie component. Okay, so that's how I have to do it. I either have to do it via way of using cookie from my cookie component, and then I have to use useEffect. So it's not going to let me not use useEffect if I want to do it the way I'm trying to do it. And that's probably because I have to call my cookie method. It's kind of interesting though. Why does it say API your endpoint? Oh, so this is actually... Wait. Why would it think my... What is Axios? I don't want Axios. What the heck? Stop trying to make me use Axios. And this cookie is a class of the getCookieValue method that returns the decoded JWT token. The getCookieValue method is called in the useEffect hook to get the decoded token, and then the extracted values are used as needed. Note that I've kept the Axios call and the setTextState update in the useEffect hook, assuming that's what you want to do with the extracted values. If you need to use the extracted values differently, you can modify the code accordingly. I don't need to add bearer to mine. My token has bearer in it already. It comes with part of the token value. Use the extracted value as needed. Set text. Response.data.yourValueName. Okay. It's kind of funny how it shows me the decoded token username, decoded token email, but it, on the part that it adds, doesn't actually set those values, which I think is kind of weird. As in, this code is not fully usable. You have to update it because it's not assuming any kind of setting of those values, because username and email are not even considered in the parts that are going and getting these tokens. You have to go read those values and set them. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of an unusual state of affairs there. But I'm gonna go up here. You know, Black Box AI is doing. I don't know. And plus, I'm letting it jumble my brain because it keeps throwing at me new stuff, and I just keep letting it. And it doesn't understand, or it doesn't do get get method's the same. It creates another component. It still does it. Well, I mean, the cookie is fine, but inside of the cookie, I have a get cookie value, which is what? Get cookie value is not a function in there, so it's like I must be calling. Where is a get cookie value? Oh, is that the name of the file? Convert this code to make cookie getter a get method in a cookie component. See, it has get cookie value. But where is the returns the decoded data? The get cookie value method is called in the use effect. Well, here's the use effect. There's get cookie value. Yes, cookie. Oh, is that? Oh, I see. Never mind. Never mind. So it is a get method. I have my cookie class, and then they have this get cookie value. Okay. Never mind. This is the value inside the class. I was reading this as the function, and I was like, what is this method in there? Because I thought they were putting a method inside, but I just read that this is the part that comes after. So yeah, I'm just delusional. So if I take this get cookie value, and I have my my route.js, which is my cookie file that I'm actually going to call. Again, I'm going to comment this out only because I don't think I'm fully dead with that yet, because I haven't, until this works, until I've got my solution, I don't want to do anything that's going to permanently change something. And I'll try this. Oh, what? That's not going to work. It's weird because this does, this is so weird. Why does it do it this way? Because it builds classes, I mean, without function declarations or anything. It's just weird. I'm not sure like Black Box AI. It's doing strange stuff. Now that could just be because it's a cookie with a get cookie value, and the get is a keyword, and like use, like a use AMG authorized use is a keyword. Get becomes a get method, and therefore it's okay, I guess. But then it does this weird thing where it's calling stuff weird too, and I don't even know what Axios is. What is Axios? Is Axios the parser? Assuming that's. See, I don't like the assuming that's what you want to do, because it doesn't even tell me what is Axios. What is the purpose of Axios? See, why would I be... Why am I calling my API endpoint from the use effect? See, that's just so weird. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. Whatever you're up to, my friend, Black Box, I feel like it's trying to sell me something. Why is it trying... Why? I never asked for Axios, but yeah, it goes, hey, let's just do Axios. What you really want is Axios. All right, let's go back to my friend ChatGPT. I'm gonna let ChatGPT take a swipe at this. I'm gonna fetch text from a value in JWT bearer token stored in a cookie when available, or cookie not found when it is not, from an Next.js client token, preferably I would like to use a get method held in a component to return the value requested. All right, let's see what this does. All right, ChatGPT. Let's see if you're going to give me something I like better. First, create utility function to parse the cookie from the document.cookie string. Okay. See, it is definitely different already because it's using the document.cookie stuff. Okay. Create a utility function to decode the JWT. Okay, that's fine. And that's probably a good idea. Decode it separately. I like that. All right. And then fetch the JWT and handle logic in the client component. Okay, so this is what we're going to try to do. Now, again, it's got a get cookie value, which I think the get must be like use. You know, it's a hook of some kind, or get is a keyword. Whereas use is a post and get is use a post? Yeah, use is a post. So get must be a get. Obviously. Hey, well, use is a post. It doesn't say post AMG authorize. It says use AMG authorize. So I'm guessing I'm going to go here. I'm going to do a basic Google. Whoops. What did I just do? Oh, dang it. Let's go here and go. Let's see, different types of hooks. React. Let's call them. I don't know. I'm going to write Next.js hooks. They're still React hooks because Next.js and React are buddies. But React client hook and server component using custom hooks. Use context, use form context, type React node, former, handling submit, handle submission. Oh, these are way more than I expected. Handler. That was just using a handler. Post, creating is loading and is submitting React use states. Add handle input, change your inputs on change. Oh, it's a get and a set. This one using set form data. Use form context. Maybe there's a bunch of different types of them, because I am not fully sure how all of these work. Again, hooks are a new thing to me too. I'm still trying to figure out how they all work and how they how they differ from, you know, doing other forms of objects. You can have, like, I'm using a hook with my use AMG authorize, but I don't understand the other versions of hooks, right? I mean, it's a post. That much I know. That's all I know, is it's a post to my API, and it's going to go get my information and pull it back, and it's going to do stuff with it, and it's going to run accordingly. But what I don't have is my understanding of, well, are there other types of hooks? How do I do a hook that does something else? You know, how can I do a get hook? And is it a get something? Or is it a set something? Or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you name, because use is keyword in a hook. Use hook versus using use state versus just variables. React hook. Oh, it's just key words. Rules of hooks. I guess I just want to understand them more so I can kind of get a bit. Only call hooks at the top level. Don't call hooks inside loops, conditions, or nested functions. Only call hooks from React functions. Don't call hooks from regular JavaScript. Okay. Plugin is included. You can skip the next page explaining how to write your own hooks now. As we learned earlier, we can use multiple state or effect hooks in a single component. Form, use effect. Use state. Use the name state variable. Use an effect for persisting the form. Use the surname. So how does React know which state corresponds to which use state call? The answer is that React relies on the order in which hooks are called. Our example works because the order of the hook calls is the same on every render. Okay, maybe I'm not understanding anything about hooks. It's because, or maybe it's, well, okay, let me rephrase that. Maybe it's just that I'm off on the wrong track about how hooks are concerned. I thought there was, because like none of these examples they give you are doing anything. They're just use state and use effect. And those are all hooks. Those are effect hooks. Custom hooks. Maybe that's the key element I'm trying to say. Those are regular hooks. Actually, I should probably say custom hook keywords. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. How to create a custom hook, and maybe that's probably what I'm thinking. Not basically things like use effect and use state are hooks because they use the keyword use, which is a hook. However, that said, if I want to do a custom hook, I have to do whatever these say. What are custom hooks? All right. Your custom hooks should start with the keyword use. Oh, so it's always a use. Okay. There is not other options. So we got use auth state. Your custom hook should start with keyword use, for example, use auth, use fetch, etc. Hook should be called at the top of the component. We should avoid using hooks inside of a condition or loop because React will be uncertain about the order. Hook should be called from a function-based component. You can call one hook from another hook. Oh, nice, okay. You can call one hook from another hook. Every call to a hook gets an isolated state. Now that we know some basic rules of hooks, let's create an example. This one of the more basic React custom hooks example. In this hook, we do the following things. We return an access token. Is there an error state? The purpose of the hook is to return the access token from the local storage or fetch a new one if the access token is not present in the local storage. We have named the hook use auth state. This satisfies the rule that the name of the hook must start with use. If you carefully observe the code inside the hook, you'll find that we need this each and every time we need to use the access token. All right. Export. See, I think I want to use a hook. I feel like using a hook would be better. How about like, now my cookie can't be called, my hook can't be called use cookie because it only does so many things, right? I mean, I wanted to check for the cookie and return. I feel like my cookie, I feel like if I provide a value to it, I can have it return specific values, but I may have to return multiple values. All right, let's go back to ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, I got another question for you. We're going to try something else. All right, I want to return. All right, I gotta get over the extra stuff. How do I write a custom React hook that returns a how about this? Returns one or more specific values from a JWT bearer token to a client component using Next.js. How do I write and app folder, app folder. How to write a custom React hook that returns one or more specific values from a JWT bearer token to a client component using Next.js and app folder routing. Let's try that. So the key element of asking the question of how do I return a value from a JWT token is to say a specific value. Because you have to do the specific value part for it to know, oh, well, you need to decode it first. That's the key element there. Now create a custom hook that uses the utility function to extract the desired values. Okay, I think we're on track. I think I'm going to do this. I think we're on track for this. This feels like it could be the right answer. Using the hook in a client component. And then we're going to go over here, use state, use effect, set token, use JWT token, and that's going to get me back my token values. And then, oh yeah, see, this is nice and simple and clean. Look at that. I mean, it still does a use effect, but the use effect is simple. I'm not calling another object. I don't have to say get or post or anything weird like that. So I am going to actually go here. We're going to go API. It's still going to be under API because I still feel like, you know, am I? Maybe I'll use, where would I put it? I'm trying to, like, should I put it under auth? I'm still using the token. Or should I just be utils? Maybe I should just create one called utils. That's like, that sounds better, right? Because it's a utility, right? New file. And we're going to go utils / read cookie? No, it's use. Use, what do they call it? Use JWT. Sure, use JWT. Cookie. I'm going to call it cookie. Alright, fine. I'll just go use, I like simple. Use JWT. I'm going to go with it. Alright, so their idea is that we have this JWT thing here. I think I already have JWT. Pretty sure that's already installed, but we're going to find out. Because as soon as I do this, yeah, see, it's okay with it. All right, so I'm going to put this in here. Hopefully I can keep it in here and it won't complain because I'm not calling the decode token, but this is going to be the piece it's actually going to use. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe I can't. I'm hoping I can put a function within a function, right? Well, that's not even a function. That's just its own little thing. Oh, that's not even a function. That's just this is just a component file. library like JWT decode to help with this. So that's not what I want to put there. I don't know. I'm not a fan of these standalone. I mean, maybe that's just the thing with React. You have all these standalone bits and files. I don't know. I like to, if for example this decode's only ever going to be used when I do the use cookie thing, then why do I need a whole nother file for it? Because it's going to call it itself. It's going to do it itself. Yes, it's separate, but it's within its own. I mean, it takes away, it turns it into a non-function, I guess. Maybe that's just the way it is. See, this is set up as an export function. And I can add, theoretically, I can add another function here. Because I'm only going to use AMG authorize. I would imagine I can put another function in here that says export function blah, and use AMG authorize can call it. I would even think I could probably make it private or something where it's only able to be used within that function or in that function class. So I'm going to try and call this as a function. Export function. We'll call it use JWT, and I'll put this down here, and I'm going to do the same format as I did up here. Okay. Oops. Oh, syntactically broken. Okay. All right, what did I do here? I did something weird. Oh, I still have my decode thing up here. Alright, so let's try this again. We're going to take all this, copy, put it all the way up to here, function use JWT, but I'm going to call it a function instead. And this is going to be token. And then this is going to go away. Alright, let's see what I did here. Oh, I guess I don't have to do that. Alright, no equals. Okay, alright, so we gotta have function use JWT token and a constant value use state null. This one's gonna apparently have a use effect, which can I even use a use effect in a? Oh, it is in the hook, so yeah, I could imagine we probably can. Now create a custom hook that uses the utility function to extract the desired variables. So now we're going to have the use effect, I guess, which is what I've got here, which is going to call out to my decode function, which I'm actually going to put in here as well. I'm just going to go Control X. I'm going to stick it down here. I'm hoping this works. And then we're going to put this up here. Oh, I already got JWT decode in my answer. And then we're going to go here. We're going to call this a function. Do I even need to do that? I don't know. I'm probably doing something pretty far off the base here. Trying to be creative or trying to get my mental these preferences functional. Wait, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Why is that? No. What the heck? That's not what I wanted. I'm trying to fix a thing that's not even what I asked for. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is allowed, but I'm going to try it. I'm hoping it can call this export constant decode. Now, this is a, whatever this value is, it's going to go do this bit. It's going to decode my token, which apparently I've got to provide, which is fine. And then that's going to go call it, and we should have values back, right? So that's assuming those values exist, which they probably do not at first. So it's going to decode. So what happens if we get nothing back? So we're going to have an invalid token. Or what's going to happen when it's over there though? Is it just going to error, or is it going to return something? So it should be null, right? It's going to return nothing. Return null. And then we're going to be up at the use effect up there. And it's going to say return values, which are going to be null. All right, so let's go up here. So I'm basically using two use effects. I got a use effect in my custom token or custom hook, and then I've got a use effect in my client. I'm not getting away from use effect, man. It's just not happening. Use effect is going to run me. It's going to run my life. All right. So once again, we're just going to comment this stuff out because I'm not sure I'm going to need it. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to try this use effect. Assuming you get the token from somewhere. Yeah. You know, why does this have to provide the token? That's my question. Why does this have to provide the token? It should just say, go call my value and let that thing get the token. I don't want this handling the token. Just say, don't need to handle the token. Is it because it's on the client? Maybe I have to do it because it's on the client. I have to get the token, but the cookie's local. And maybe I do. Because the server-side code wouldn't have the cookie, right? So I got to provide the token to the... Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I'm misunderstanding in all this. Is that my my cookie here. The only reason I'm moving it off because it's not API related anymore. It's just doing its thing. But if I say use this thing, it's going to go values, use effect. So if I just say use the token and then have my server side read the cookie, I shouldn't have to have. Now, but it needs to read it, right? Because it's going to go here and it's going to read those values. Token, and then it's going to go la la la, and it's going to read Dwit token. So Dwit values. Where's Dwit values? User Dwit, use Dwit token. So I have to, oh no, it's just what it returns. So in theory, Dwit values is just, I could just say use Dwit, and it should return. Because I don't want to pass it a token. I want use Dwit to be smarter. So if I'm over here on navbar.jsx, and then I go put this in as my use effect, this whole bit, right before the return. Okay, so this would be, yeah, but this is me get items. I'm not reading from local storage. Store token, constant store token, local storage, I get items token. I don't want that. I just want to do set token, use Dwit token. Why can't I just call use Dwit token and not? See, that's going to set token to the stored token that I just got from local storage. So that's us setting the token and sending it back to use Dwit. But I want use Dwit to just do its own thing. just go get the token, man. Because I don't think there's going to be any change, right? This is on load. When you on load, you come to the website for the first time or to that page. Anytime that page loads, it's going to read if the cookie exists. There should be no other calls to reading the cookie. It's going to either exist or it's not going to exist. So if it only happens at the beginning, then it's only happening at the beginning. So I don't use effect as if it changes or something should reroute it or redefine it before it returns. I think anytime you load this page for the first time, it's going to go read it, it's going to load it. If you leave the page, you come back to the page. Even in a single page environment, that nav bar should be, well, maybe not. Maybe if navbar is still there all the time, it's got to reread it each time you re-render the page. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe you do have to have a use effect. But why can't use effect just call Dwit values? Because I don't want, I just want Dwit values to update. That's all I want. I don't want my use effect reading the token. All right, so I'm going to go back here. Maybe not, but I'm going to try something. Can I say, is this possible, having use Dwit get token without it being passed as parameter. And I'm not, it's, why does it keep putting in local storage? Token, please update response. Considering that token is stored in a cookie. I thought I asked it to do it as a cookie, but maybe not. Okay, that's better. Return values. Where's values? Oh, set values. Oh, that must be up there. So I can say set values, email. Okay, let's do that. I got it. I got it. Well, I think I got it. I say I got it, but maybe I don't got it. We'll see. All right, so we're going to change this. We're going to go back to where I used it. We're going to take basically what this thing says. Copy. And we're just going to replace all this stuff here. Okay. Yeah, we got to put down a squiggly brace. All right, export function. Well, it's export constant. I'm going to do it as a function. So I feel like I can do this as a function. Okay, so we got constant values. All right, so we're going to return values. If token, else, set values, and we're going to go email. Token or cookie is not found, because I expect it to be broken. If the token's not there, then the cookie's broken. All right, so we're gonna cookies.get token. Cookies.get, and I think this is actually supposed to be the name of the cookie. We're gonna go, which is UCL AU underscore token. All right, so we're gonna get that, and then we're gonna go decode token, which is gonna come down here. We're gonna find out if it's a valid token. If it blows up, it'll be null. So this will say if it's not null, we got a value. We're gonna go read it for decoded.sub. I don't know what the heck sub is supposed to be. Is that supposed to be user ID? Sure, okay. Email and role, why not? Whatever. I'll read it right now because it's not going to have anything. Ultimately, it should just say set values. We're going to have email. And then we're going to go here, there. This is not supposed to be there. So we got that one. Okay, so we should have that one be part of that. And what if we do get a thing? Because we will have a thing. So for now, I just have, what do I have? For now, we don't have any of this. We're going to have to do, oops. For now, we're just going to have to do email someone at somedomain.com. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's assuming I can set that as a base string like that. I'm not sure if it lets me do that or not, but we're going to find out. Whoops, can this, nope, this is, there we go. Let's clean it up a little bit. Email, set value, email, values. Okay. I think I'm almost ready to do a test. At least it's not showing me an error, which, whoa, oh, that's weird. Okay, threw me off. I never compress these things. I was like, why is that broken? All right, so you can now use this hook in your client component without worrying about passing the token as a parameter. Yay, okay. See, now this one doesn't even do that. So this is use client. Yes. And now my item is not hooks, but it's going to go over here. I'm going to go copy. And it is used to it. Yep. I'm going to try to change this again. Let's put this here. This is my custom stuff. Let's put it here. Used to it, and it's not in hooks. It's in. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I actually like this because it's gonna be smarter. Because I can't tell for sure where I'm getting this from. Constant JWT values equals use JWT, and if I click this puppy. Well, it's supposed to. It didn't, but it's supposed to. It's supposed to just load it automatically, but for some reason it did not. Well, how do you know? That doesn't work. So, what's wrong? Export function, use AMG authorize, blah blah blah, and that one's okay. Of course, I didn't add a second function. It could be complaining because I didn't separate this as a function. Might not like me to do. I don't know if this is working. I'm trying stuff that I'm not fully aware of what I'm accomplishing here. So, but I should. Ideally, if I'm in here, should be able to go const JWT values equals use. It's not there. Does not exist, man. Good, I'm putting this here. I know, there's no functional reason for my doing that. I just did it because I changed my mind. I'll probably use a utilities folder at some point, but right now, I don't want it there. Okay, Alright, let's just try to hard code it in. Let's see if that matters. I should have accepted it. It should have put it in, I think. I'm pretty sure I have that set up to do that, but we're just going to do it this way. So, import use JWT from dot API / cookie / use J. All right. Well, hopefully it's gonna know it's there. Constant JWT values equals use JWT. Oh, equals. It doesn't like it. Oh wait. Oh, it just hadn't compiled. Okay. Alright, so we got use JWT values. So here it doesn't actually expect the use effect because the use effect is in those objects. So maybe we're on our wavy. Email. Wait a minute. Is it user email or is it reading the wrong thing? No, it's just email. Huh. I'm not confident in this. It's reading wrong. It's not giving me a sense of confidence. Now this one doesn't put the use effect in, so I'm guessing I don't need it. So I'm commenting that out again. And I don't need any of these guys. Alright, so I have all of my nonsense reapplied. I don't know if I like the way it broke up my link. My prettier did not make this prettier. It's not easier to read. So it's like, what is this? Why is that in that weird format there? I don't like it. I mean, I know it might be right, but it's just weird to me, and I don't like it. Now, it's mostly because, too, my DWIT values is not highlighted correctly anymore, and it's throwing me off. Which means either it broke something. See, this is not what I expect to see. Why is that? Why is that weird? Oh, that's fine. Sometimes multi-line stuff isn't better, I'm telling you. So how come visible has a comma on it? That's weird. Don't feel like that visible should have a comma there. Why is this weird? Okay, prettier. You've made me unhappier. I don't like what it did. Can I undo prettier with this? Ugh, I might not be able to undo prettier. Prettier is going to stay what it is. Huh. Nope. Oh, there we go. See, now maybe I broke it. Let me see what happens if I just take this out. Okay, so far everything is looking correct. I'm not sure what prettier did, but I don't know if I want to change this now. I mean, I don't mind doing stuff like this. Still readable. All right, so we're going to go with it. I think we're going to go ahead and give this a go. Save that. Take myself back to my page, which I don't have. It's not loaded right now. Oh. That's not what I want. Alrighty. Wish me luck, man. What time is it? Oh, it's already 1:30. I haven't even gotten out of my workout clothes yet. Just been working and doing other stuff all day. Yikes. I gotta take a break here. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be good news. And then I will have to see what happens next. I've spent a lot of time just trying to get my stupid link working, but the thing is, it's all part of the picture, right? Because eventually this has to work. Even if I was saying, not worrying about that right now. I just want to have everything kind of doing what it's supposed to. But as you can see, something still was open because it's saying my port is broken. I don't want to break my port because then my cores definitely won't work. Dang garment. All right, for now, I'm going to go ahead and open this, only because I want to see what it's showing, but it's definitely not going to work when I try to log in. I'm not even sure where my app went if it didn't close off right. Oh, we're still getting problems. Can't resolve Druid decode. Import Druid code from Druid decode. Oh. Wait a minute. Did I do that? Did I do that? Return Druid decode. What is Druid decode? Do I need to install something? Did I forget to install something? Maybe I did. Maybe Druid decode doesn't actually exist. I may have forgotten to install that, or I thought it was in because it looks correct, but it could very well be not. Maybe I never did it. Let's go here. Nope. Stop it. Go here. Go here. I have JSON web token, JSON cookie. Oh yeah. Alright, I guess I didn't. npm I what is it? Druid dash decode. Wait. I thought I had one of these that told me to install the Druid dash decode. Well, if it did, it must have vanished it. Must have erased it. JS cookie. Is that what it's called? It's not always what it's called. Yeah, that's probably not what it's called. Oh, maybe that is it. It's installing something. Maybe that is it. Alright, well, it's trying something new. Oh, yeah, wow, fine. Okay, so understanding where things are, and this is a problem with just taking what it gives you. Yeah, this doesn't use useState at all. So my use, well, it does use useState. Oh, maybe did I not put a reference to useState availability here? I may not have useState set up. All right, Control C. I may have to go to my used here. Yeah, see, I don't have that imported. No, this one doesn't. This is not using use client, right? No. Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure I didn't write it for client. Cannot read properties of null. Oh wait, am I trying to read them? Joe, Mrs. This is not in this is not part of the API. This is just part of my application. This is it's in my API folder, I know. But I wanted it to be, because it's a cookie related thing, so I stored it in the cookie folder. But you're right. Really, the only thing here calling an API is this. This is the function that goes out and talks to my API for now until I add other things. But like this cookie route here, all this is doing is, see, I don't even know what this is doing. This is the post that some of my other items are calling to actually get stuff to. But it uses, you know, this one's called by missing or invalid authorization. This is when I log in, so it does have the cookie name, and this is where I'm logging the cookie and saving it into a cookie object. But it's not actually using an API. I just have it here because the API is this. The use AMG authorize is my API call. So, yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. Maybe I should put the cookie stuff in a utility folder instead, because they're, like you said, it's not technically API, so it probably shouldn't be in here. It is related to the API in that that's where the auth stuff is coming from. Maybe I should put it in util, huh? Util cookies? Util cookie? That might be better. Yeah. I mean, for semantics purposes and for understanding, I definitely get that. But anyway, it shouldn't be I mean, that shouldn't cause it to blow up. Right? I mean, just having an API folder doesn't necessarily mean you mean the API, a folder with the name API actually has a functional purpose in the application? I thought it was just where you store API calls. I didn't know it was actually it had a functional purpose. This feels like a whole rewriting of my code, huh? when you move stuff around like that, because now it's doing all these updates. See, that's something I didn't know. If in fact an API folder actually has a functional API purpose, see, it still doesn't. Cannot read properties of null. It still doesn't like it. Now I did tweak again what ChatGPT gave me. I'm not taking it as it gives me, and I'm kind of like this beginner guy who thinks he knows more than the expert. I'm like, I get what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure this is better. I'm like, it's like ChatGPT is like, why did you even ask me if you're not going to do it like I tell you? It's like, but it feels like the wrong solution. It feels like you gave me the right code, but you didn't do it the way I wanted you to. Okay, so look, I'm trying to create a custom hook, use JWT. Oops, that's not what I want. Okay, so use JWT. But in that, I wanted to put this decode token in here because that's what it's going to do. It's going to decode it. Now, yes, I could just put it in here because in reality, I don't think I'm ever going to decode anywhere else. I only pulled it out because it's its own little action. You know, it's its decode token. So I pulled it out, put it aside, and that's because it gave it to me separate. And I'm like, well, why can't I just stick it in there as another function? And then have when the use JWT is called, it would just call decode token inside of itself. So it's possible something's tripping up here. I mean, ultimately, I don't even know why it thinks what this null is. But so you can see here that it actually creates it as a constant. export constant, but that's because it's calling use JWT as the function, I assume. It's not actually creating a function. And I was trying to mimic it after my API hook, which is actually calling it as a function, export function, use AMG authorize. So I was trying to mimic that process because I was afraid that if I didn't, this constant decode thing I did here. All right, let's go back. I'm going to go ahead and undo what I did, sort of. I'm going to return this to a constant and then return this to a constant because I'm probably just overthinking this. Which, by the way, would not be out of the ordinary for me because I tend to do that sometimes. All right, so we're going to relabel this back to a constant. I'm going to take the same header that it gave me here. And then I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to take the function out, turn this back into a constant as well. JWT. This is such a weird syntax. And then, do I even need to do this? Maybe I just do. Can I not do the export thing and just stick it inside of my other one and just call it a constant within? Can you? I'm going to try it. It's all about understanding how the syntax of this world works. So I would have to do it right here though, huh? No. See, I want to, Because then that seems really weird, right? Because I can't call, because this is going to be like it suddenly becomes a method. But you can't have a method nested in a method, right? I mean, by having it export, that means it has to be its own file. I feel like this is broken. But because things in React aren't as obvious as they are in C#. I'm telling you, C# is pretty clear, but the fact that you can have like a constant as the starting line of a component in React, you can't do that in C#. C#, you're either a stored procedure or a module or a method. I mean, you're either a function or a stored procedure, right? I mean, you're gonna be some object that you rarely ever have. You can't just have a call to a component. Now, of course, this is C# as a Windows application. Blazor, again, that's another one I'm learning. That's the side-by-side I'm trying to create here. Blazor may allow it. I know the program.cs actually does not have function method starter or header, but it's the only place where it doesn't have that. Everywhere else has, you're either a function or a header. You have a declaration of some kind. In React, apparently you can just have a component that you call the component and you just put a constant in there, export constant. That's not a function or a method. And I think that's where I'm having trouble gronking, because it feels strange to me. So basically what it's doing is it's using the file name as the method call, in which case I understand that I probably cannot have other functions or methods within that component name, because it would get confused as to what it's supposed to be allowed. So if I feel like if I put my decode function here as an export inside, see, this feels like that's not allowed. I feel like that's gonna like go, you can't do that. Because now what would it call? It's just going to go in here and run everything. I don't know that if I call use Druid, is it treating these as functions or methods? I don't know what it treats them as, because they're not functions. So yeah, it's a weird. I'm definitely going to have to get used to the paradigm that is this weird language. I'm guessing if I had started in this world, probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but because it would just be what it is, I would just know. And I'll tell you this, learning it by yourself, you know, without having a teacher, instructor, or somebody you can ask questions of, that's what ChatGPT is. It's my instructor. Can I place more than one export constant inside of a custom hook file? Oh, that is allowed. But see, now it's even more confusing. So how does it differ, a constant, an export constant, how does that differ from a function? Is it basically acting as a, no, it returns data. So it's not a sub procedure. See, I'm trying to line these object types up in my mind with how C# works, and maybe I need to stop doing that. Because there's really only two things. It's not different, it's the same. So you're saying minus the function keyword. So minus the function keyword, it's basically still a function. Oh. So it's just another way of writing a function? How? Huh. So it's, oh, okay. Well, I guess that helps actually, surprisingly enough. Just knowing that it's a different way of doing the same thing. So putting a function in, oh, it's an anonymous function. Huh. Okay. Well, then, okay. That actually clears things up, surprisingly enough. I thought it was like some other form of an object, and I didn't understand how it was functioning outside of being a function. But the fact that it is, in fact, a function, then it clears it up. I just didn't know you could do that because my brain is in the C# world. 15 years of .NET framework throwing me off. Okay. All right, so let's go on and try this again then. Let's run this. You know, there are a lot of things I like about React. Some stuff about it feels actually kind of good. It's kind of got a clarity. Maybe it's because I'm getting used to it. Although I don't fully understand it yet. You know, I'm getting there. And I'm starting to understand how things lay out and how things work. And just knowing little things. You know, the funny thing is about learning to program, it's the little things that clarify it, right? Because I know how to create structures and code structures and algorithms and complex stuff. Yes, I'm a .NET developer. My whole life was, I came up doing first I started off in VB, Access Basic, went to VB, VB.NET, and then I got hired as a C# developer, having never done C#. I was doing VB. They hired me for my VB.NET skills because Access was using Access Basic, and I was certified in Access. So they hired me for that, but they said, hey, we have all the C# stuff we need you to do. So I learned C#, and then they had an application that they needed me to work on. Basically, the Access application was just overloaded. They put too much crap in it. It was too big. It couldn't handle it. It kept crashing because they were hitting the caps of what it was able to do. And so they wanted to move to SQL Server. And my SQL Server at the time was kind of, I knew enough to, get by. I could write basic queries. Ultimately, though, I said, hey, I'll do a prototype for you if you give me the time. They said, yeah, go ahead. My manager said, how long will it take you? And I go, well, I can do a quick prototype. It took me a month or so just to kind of get the basics of what would happen. And I did it, and he goes, oh, well, that's going to go. How long would it take to get this whole thing set up? So, I mean, converted, so we're no longer using the Access application. I'm like, that's a big application, and it has a lot of functionality. I said, I could probably do it in a year. And he goes, okay, we'll do it a year. So I had to do it under the radar, because upper management didn't want to prioritize this project. So basically, I was the only developer. And ultimately, I became known as the Rios guy, because the application, I called it Rios. I named it, it was called Reporting Implementation on SSRS, what Rios stands for. And so I got good at C#. I got good at SQL Server. I actually wrote an entire application in SQL Server. Eventually, as that was finished, I went on to ASP.NET. But again, this is all C#, .NET framework using... and the website was written in ASP.NET using C# and linked to SQL for my SQL Server skills. Well, for the website pages. Then I wrote my website page to write its own SQL. I said I had my SQL writing SQL, so that so other developers could write reports for this system without having to worry about the deployment process, because they could go in there and say, okay, well, my report is XYZ, settings and variables. The system would set it all up in the database and give them a deployment script so that they can deploy to the other environments, into test and acceptance testing and to production. They would need a separate script to set up the database for their report object going to these other environments. So they would go to my website, they put in the stuff, it would write the script for them and say, oh, here's your script. So when they deployed their report, they just deployed that script, set it up in the Rios application. So that was what all my stuff came from. And over the course of the next 6, 7, 8 years after it was finished and we got everything converted to this new system, I just did a lot of C#, a lot of SQL Server, but it was all in .NET Framework. And when I finally came to the point where it was time for me to be moving on, as in my job went away, everything wanted .NET Core, which I hadn't done. I kept trying to get my company to upgrade. They wanted to. It was on the docket to move things forward, but they're like, well, maybe we're going to move away from Rios. I was in a bunch of meetings where they were trying to replace it, which I was always fine with. Let's do it. If there's something better. They couldn't find anything better that did everything that Rios did, because I put a lot of functionality in that. And part of the problem was nobody knew Rios, because they'd give me I'd have 2 or 3 developers at one point or another learning the application, and they would move on to something else eventually. They just moved to something else, and nobody ever got to be an expert at it, and they never had a person to do it when I wasn't around. They actually laid me off twice. They laid me off once at COVID, and that was just a random thing. I just got shot by the shotgun blast. And then 8 months later, they called me back and go, hey, we need you to come back. We need to do stuff with Rios, and we have problems. I'm like, okay. So they rehired me back. I came back for 2 years. And then I got into another department, and that job went away, and I'm now to work again. Now I say, screw this, man. I need to update my skills. I need to turn my C# into Blazor, or add React, add Angular, add all these other tools. I become good at these other things, or at least knowledgeable in them, to the point where I could get a job and says, hey, I can get in there and do this. And so yeah, .NET Framework guy. That's my skill set normally. I am finding it to be a little interesting, because a lot of the skills that I have, nice thing about SQL Server is, for all the updates they've done and all the version updates, they've only added features, and nothing about SQL Server is, if you know SQL Server well from 7 or 8 years ago, you know it now. You know it well now. There just may be some features you're unaware of. Like every now and then a new version comes out, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a cool new little this or that feature. but it's not like I'm lost. There's nothing about SQL Server that's gotten to the point where I'm like, whoa, hey, I don't even know what this is anymore. .NET Core MVC is a totally different paradigm from what .NET Framework was. And I have to learn all those things to come up to even being a good C# candidate for a lot of these companies. Now, .NET Core combines the two, but I wanted React. I chose React over Angular. Basically, it was, pick one. And I went with React. But Vue is out there. There's other things out there. Yeah, see, Blazor uses, well, ASP.NET Core. It's like it's the React for C#. It's the UI part of that, and that's why I'm doing a side by side of React and Blazor. I've gone back and forth, and I've spent a week here and a week there. So once I get my React stuff working correctly for the auth, I'm going to go back to Blazor and get that one working for auth. I'm going to have it calling the authorization API. And then I'm going to spend some time there. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth until, because that's the goal, is to kind of make the two apps identical, functionally the same, within reason. And then I'm going to, have two apps that do the same thing, calling the same auth API. And I will have learned, hopefully, two different ways of doing the same thing and become a Blazor/React person. Ultimately, I may even try to host it on Azure, as I've been trying to get my Azure certification for AZ204. And I did that for a couple of months on my stream here, and I got to go back to that. But I got to up my Coursera so I can finish the last 3 or 4 courses and then do my studying and take the test, which I got to pay for too. And when you're unemployed, paying for things is scary. I don't like to pay for things unless I can be 100% on it. And things have just been hectic lately, and I don't want to have money burning while I'm supposed to be studying on that stuff. So that's kind of the problem. So yeah, it's the old chicken and the egg thing, right? You need money to make money, but you need to make money to. See, you need money to learn, but you need to learn to make money. That's what it is. You need money to learn, but you need to learn to make money. That's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to learn for free, but some things aren't free. Some things I need to know with a more expert access. Though I will say, ChatGPT and Blackbox AI to a point. I keep running away from Blackbox AI because I don't like where it's taking me sometimes. What is going on here? Why did this not load? Something didn't work there. Something didn't work there. Let's try this again. Control C, Y, kill. Go back here. I don't know whatever happened here. Something went wonky there. Gonna kill that again. Alright, so now we're back to our starting point. Let's try this again. I've always felt pretty good about my ability to learn things. But I will be honest, I did fail, crash and burn, at my last position, which is one of the reasons why they let me go. Because, to be honest, it was a shotgun blast of information. I changed teams thinking, hey, they're doing some web development, right? They had this plan to do, they were using Angular, which, by the way, is one of the reasons I went with React, because I didn't want to spend time in Angular. I don't like it that much. But I went into this new team because my team was collapsing. They were gonna disperse it and lay everybody off. It was already down to like 3 or 4 or 5 people. I think I was one of the last 3 people. One guy retired, and then there was only 3 of us left. And one girl was offered a position with another team. It was just a matter of time before she went to that other team. So I said, well, I need a job. So I started looking around within the company, found a position, sort of. I said, hey, they're doing web development here. That's cool. I want to start learning how to do it with Angular and stuff. I can learn Angular. If we spend time in Angular, I'll learn it. I'm learning this stuff. Well, I went to the team, and I had a man. I didn't immediately go. I had my interview. Met with the manager. She goes, "Hey, we're doing Angular. We're doing some MongoDB. We're doing." She mentioned a couple of things. Only a couple. Cosmo. She's doing that. We have some APIs. Again, I haven't done anything with modern APIs. I did some in like early to mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006. Yes, I'm older than I look. And so I was doing this stuff. It's what I knew was way outdated and wasn't functional anymore, right? Because they're doing all these different web APIs and REST APIs, doing a lot of different things. And I said, well, that's fine. I mean, I can learn APIs in context of Angular, no problem. But when I got to the team, I did exactly one sprint where I had one task. It was update a line in this Angular application, which, by the way, was a monster. It was a monster application. And they had stuff on like 10 or no, it's at least 10 APIs. And they had different calls to all these different APIs. And it was like, fix this one thing. And I was like, whoa, I have. And she hired me. She knew. I said, I've never done any of that stuff, but I learn fast. I can do it if you get me in there. And I had a 2-week time to do this one thing. And I figured it out. I never saw Angular again for the next 4 months. Because I never saw any of the things that she said that we were going to do for the next 4 months. They were using multiple support tools. They used Dynatrace, and I forgot what the other one was called. Well, Azure, obviously. All this was hosted on Azure. They had stuff that was hosted locally and hosted on the web. Stuff that was local was written in C#, which that was great. C# using whatever. I actually could figure that stuff out pretty quick, but again, I didn't get to spend much time in it. Then they had a bunch of Angular stuff up on the web. And then they had this tool called Ectron that sat over the top of this stuff and held content for these websites. And it did its own thing. It deployed the code weird, and you had to set it up. It wasn't even written in a language. I mean, there were codable parts. I think they were JavaScript if you did those pieces. But ultimately, it was just this weird node tree of stuff where you go down this tree and add things in and copy paste. It was weird, but it was how they handle a lot of the content for several of the web pages. And then on top of it, they had a million passwords and a million different, I say a million, probably 40, but it was a lot because they were constantly coming around because our company rotated passwords and certificates every 3 months. So we were constantly updating passwords and certificates just every 3 months. You weren't even done with the first ones by the time the next month was already rotating back in. So you're just constantly doing that. So you're basically saying, all right, who's doing the certs, who's doing the passwords, who's doing the certs, who's doing the passwords. And certain things were certain parts of the web. Okay, so I'm making up my entire excuse. But this is basically what happened. They had a bunch of stuff. I didn't figure it all out. I figured a little bit of everything out. But, 8 months in, my manager's going, well, you haven't become an expert in React or in Angular. You haven't become an API expert. You haven't learned everything there is about the benefits. By the way, that was my one of my goals that she had set for me was I need to become the SME, the expert in how the benefits worked within these applications. Benefits is huge, huge. We were an insurance company. Benefits was huge. And I'm like, I don't even have time to spend on this one thing because I'm constantly doing this other stuff. How am I supposed to be an expert? The expert, SME. That's the subject matter expert. So if anybody has any questions about it, they're supposed to come to me. And she gave me less than a year to do that. Along with, she expected me to know Angular and APIs and C#, all these web parts, well enough that they could just give me any task and I would know it. And I was learning it. I was getting it. I knew this, but it was this, right? So I knew this much of each thing. And as it was growing, but I was going back and forth like a typewriter, growing my expertise. I wasn't even up to being, mid-level on these items because they were all brand spanking new to me. She knew that when she hired me, but she just didn't realize how many things they have. I think she just didn't understand the scope of work that they do in that team. So here I am going, all right, screw that. I'm going to learn this stuff, so I'm no longer coming in not knowing stuff. So if I go into a company, I'm going to say, look, I can do React. Yes, I'm not an expert. I don't have 5 years of experience, but now I understand how it's put together. I understand how Next.js works. I understand its page layouts and its app routing. I understand, I'm going to have the concepts down where I'm not going to be totally lost anymore when I go in. And now, and so basically, through all this, I'm learning all those little bits, the little bits that actually make it clear in your head, and you can go, oh well, I know, I need to go find this, I need to go edit that. Understanding things like that a constant. If I had seen both a export constant and export function in the past, I'd have been asking that same question. I would have thought they were two different things forever until somebody pointed out to me that it's one thing. So thank you, Jose. Is it Jose or Jose? I don't know. It depends on if you're Spanish. If you're Spanish or mixed Spanish / Hispanic, I guess it'd be Jose, right? Jose Mieses, or if it's English of some kind, it's pronounced different. So I'll go with, I feel like it's Hispanic, but it's really hard to tell by words, right? Oh, cool. I am Hispanic, by the way. My last name's Romero. I don't speak Spanish, though. Let me rephrase that. I don't speak it well. Oh, well, thanks. Well, that's because, again, I took 6 years of Spanish in high school, and I did well, but for me, it's still all English in my head, right? So I have to translate everything. So I can't get in a conversation with people. If somebody put a document in front of me written in Spanish, I'd probably be able to make out 80% of the document. It would take me a bit. I'd be translating in my head. I'd be translating each word and then deriving the words I didn't know based on what I did know. I can't keep up with fast speech, so I can't really communicate with people because my brain is translating the whole time. So I've watched Spanish. I want to start watching more Spanish captioned TV shows. My wife and I have watched at least one. It's captioned in English, but I like to caption them in Spanish sometimes. Or we'll watch an English show with Spanish captions, and I like to try to connect the words in my mind, assuming the captions are right. Which, by the way, they're not always right. You can kind of tell if you ever watch an English captioned show on an English show, and the words that they're showing you are not matching what's on the screen. You're like, because you do that when you can't hear the TV, right? You use captions, but you hear enough of it that you're like, wait a minute, that's not what they said. So it's the same problem with Spanish, but I still like to do it because I like to actually try to connect and try to get better at Spanish. Having a Hispanic heritage, I feel like I should know it better than I do. But yeah, anyway. Again. I totally jumped the rails on that, huh? 20 minutes of babbling. Huh? No, cancel that. I don't know what that is. Let's try this again. TMI, right? I gave you my life story, my work life story, and then my Spanish life story. It's like it's not nothing to do with coding there, buddy. That's sounds like a lot of excuses to me. Maybe a few. It's frustrating to fail at something, to say, I had to agree when they finally came up to me and go, you haven't learned this enough. I go, yeah, I'm getting there, but I just can't do it. Yeah, it's like, it was frustrating because my entire life, I have learned everything I know on my own. I learned Access, I learned Visual Basic, I learned C#, I learned SQL Server. I never took classes for any of those things. One time I took an advanced Visual Basic course. It was like a 1 week. You go in and they train you, and because I just wanted to pick up some new stuff, and really I already knew a lot of it, and I taught myself ASP.NET and HTML and basic JavaScript because again I was doing it on my own as I needed it. So I felt like I can learn this stuff. I can do it, but this particular case is I couldn't learn everything. All right, where am I? All right, cannot read properties of null. Oh, we're back to that. That's right. It doesn't want to read the property of null, which is weird because that's what it gave me. No, let's go here. Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? I really got to keep track of my pages. It must be that one. Oops. I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt, right? I'm curious. I think part of it is I'm wondering why it told me to do it that way. I feel like either it's wrong or I did something to mess it up. So I don't have this because I put it in here. Oh, what am I missing here? Wait a minute, something's weird here. I'm missing the use effect line here. Oh. Well, I don't need this because I'm not doing local storage. Oh, that's right, because I had to rewrite it down here because I'm not using cookies. But I am missing the use effect here. All right, so we got that. Decode. So I have the if token, but I don't have the get my cookie part. Oh, I say constant token equals cookies.get. Oh yeah, see, I didn't have my use effect allowed in there. I wonder if that's what tripped it up. I mean, I'm gonna first put it back just to see if that's what the problem was. Just because I don't want to fix what's not broken. Oh yeah, well, still broken. Oh wait, cannot read properties in all reading use state. No, it's the same thing. All right. Nope, still broken. All right, so we're gonna have constant token set values cookies.get. All right, have that. At least my use effect is correct now. All right, so we'll go back to trying this. Ah, still doesn't like. Can I read properties of null reading use state? What am I doing, man? Use truth. Alright, so I'm probably missing something. I'm pretty sure I'm probably just missing something. Effect. I don't have cookies in here. Do I need to put that in? Let's put that in. Import cookies from JS cookie. Let's just make sure I'm not missing any imports that are tripping anybody up here. Alright, so I got my use effect, I got my use state, and I got my decode, which is required for the decode function. Alright. And then we have my constant, export constant, use JWT, constant values, set values, use state, use effect. Yeah, I put the use state in. It did say that earlier, use state was not defined, but it's not saying that anymore. Oh, where am I calling use JWT from? Oh, are you thinking that maybe it's happening over in my navbar? Constant use JWT. I got a lot of commented out junk here. So are you thinking the problem is it's this use state that's blowing up? But that's not, well, I mean, I guess it could be. No, sidebar's not even defined by this. Right here. This is it. That's where it's being used. Now, and it must be calling it, because it would be it wouldn't be finding the use state is null problem. I mean, it's looking at the right line. See, it's actually calling it, and it just says the use state. It knows what line I'm in, so it must be hitting that. Unless it's, so it must be able to understand. I was like, I must have it mapped at least partially correct. So we got utils, cookie, use JWT. Yeah, utils. Which is somewhere. Util, cookie, use JWT. Yeah. Now use state. Let's see, let's go back. Go back to here again. And we know we are getting to this. But what is it? What is tripping it up here? Let's go back to my sample here. Using the hook and a client component. Import, use JWT. I got that. Constant. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. It's just this. That's not handling edge cases. Setup allows you to should not be doing. I mean, modify the use JWT hook to retrieve the token from cookie and decode it. Import cookies from JS cookie. Everything appears to be exactly as it defined it. So this is one of those times when I'm thinking, I don't know, ChatGPT, you may not quite have it this time, my friend. All right, I can always try this. Let's see. All right, let's see if this thing can fix itself. I have asked it questions that made it fix itself. I am getting an error message in use JWT stating cannot, what is it? Cannot something something something. Cannot read properties of null. As stating, let's just take this. Copy. Go here. It's going to give me a double response. 2 options. All right. I think my file is, it is a, yeah, this is using client already. So it does use client. Make sure the use to it hook is only used inside a functional component. Hooks can only be called inside a body of a function component or another custom hook. Yeah, correct usage. Constant. Yeah, but that's not what I'm doing. All right, and this one, export default function profile. I do have the use effect. Ensure useDruit is used inside a React component, which, well, that should be what it is, right? Check the hook usage. Make sure useDruit hook is called in a proper React component and not in a non-React function or outside the React lifecycle. Oh. Oh. I wonder. I mean, as I jump the tracks and go off in my own little thing. No, it's still a JS though. I was thinking maybe I needed to change it to a React suffix, you know, JSX. Let's change it. I don't think that can't possibly be the cause, but I'm gonna try it. Because at this point, I don't know what else to do. This will definitely make it a React component. Hey, Dita, how you doing, man? Yeah, I didn't do anything. Yeah, it looked like a. It said a proper component, so I thought a React component, which would be a JSX, but it didn't. It didn't fix it. Oh. Wait a minute. It did do something. Did do something. Okay, wait a minute. So now we're back to navbar. Oh my gosh, was that really the problem? I thought I already changed this back. Yeah, it's supposed to be trip values. All right, so we're moving down the line now. Reference error. Set value is not defined. Okay. So it was a problem that it truly wasn't a React component. It didn't know what to do with it because it was set up as just a normal JavaScript file. Interesting. Oh, now the problem here is this is not spelled correctly. That's not gonna, it doesn't know what to do with that. Got to put all the right. Gotta put all the letters on the word. Hey, look, it says login over there. All that for that. All right, we're gonna stop this. I'm gonna start it fresh because I've noticed that sometimes that logs. I don't. There's a flaw in this, and I'll see if you can see what it is if it continues to do it. But I think it will. So when this loads, it has a weird syntax, and this is from the fact that it comes up broken. But then after a moment, it processes this stuff and it resets it, using useEffect. I wish there was a way to have it process first before it even did this. And that's what kind of throws me off. I mean, because like, I'm going to close this because I don't want this. I'm going to go over here, load it back up. Now, it's going to load for a moment. It's going to look weird in the upper right. See, hello undefined. But wait, log in. Actually, that could be good if it didn't say undefined. You could say, hello, stranger, log in. But it doesn't say that. And it's an error, right? It's showing the error because it doesn't have a valid value there. What I'd like it to do is nothing. Just show the correct value right out the gate. Maybe I'm asking too much. I do like now, this feels better. It's clean. It doesn't have all this extra code in here. My cookie handling is completely out of the picture. All I did was say, get the values. Happy campers. So you're thinking, but the thing is, remember, at this point, when a person first comes to this page, there is no cookie, right? There is no cookie, and that's kind of the thing. Right now, it's going to fail. It's going to say cookie not found, and it should just say log in. But when somebody comes back to the page, they redirect back to it after a login. It should say, oh, well, there's a cookie, and give them the right link, which would be a link to their account. And it should say, hello, whatever. So that's really what it is. The default is nothing. And what I almost want to do is, why? Maybe what I need to do is reverse this. How about that? What if I just said something like, not equals to cookie not found, and then just reverse these two guys. So the default would be login. But the thing is, it won't work. Login won't work because they won't, maybe it will. I guess it could, right? Problem is, if they are logged in and it's taking it, several seconds to do it, it's going to be misleading, right? It's going to say log in. I just wish I could say, I wish I could just make it be smart at the gate. So this will be all other situations. it'll just go to the login page. This will probably make it happen, but I don't like it. I don't like, because I have a feeling if I clicked on it right away, it would take me to the login page, but then the login page would be like, hey, we're not, we're already logged in because it didn't work right the first time. You just had to give it enough time, man. Most people would never notice, but I will. So if I go, this should take me to the login page. All right, let's go to login page. Maybe. Why is that taking so long? That is really slow. Superbase starting page does that? I did some Superbase auth. In fact, that was my practice app. They used authentication from Superbase. Oh, you mean when you go to Superbase, it shows one thing and then. Oh, huh. See, that feels like a flaw. Why didn't it go to my auth page? What the heck, man? Look, oh look, it's going, but it's coming back because it thinks I'm logged in. My auth page is not working correctly now. Yeesh. So my auth page can function off the same piece now. Oh yeah, see, I'm using local storage. All this whole piece needs to change how it works, because again, I've totally rewritten how all that works. Well, that can go away because that's crap. Login. Oh yeah, see, yeah, that's totally not. Let's see here. Existing user token. Alright, let's do this. See, it's gonna throw me off again, man. It's gonna throw me off again. I just don't like it. Because it's going to keep doing this, right? If I go to another page, it's going to do the same thing, right? It's going to try to figure it out. It's going to be wrong for a second, and then it's going to be right. By then, it will already kick me into the next. I mean, so if I want to use my new component, all right, let's just put this in here. It's basically the same thing. I'm just going to do this. Constant. I gotta get rid of all this old commented code, but I'll worry about it in a minute. So we're gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna go, stop it. Alright, so that should kick us back, but only if it says cookie not found. Which means we're going to get this, go here. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll find out. And if that works, then we can go ahead and do the rest of the stuff. Nope, it blew up. Okay. Oh wait, I got to pull the reference in. That's not going to work. Let's pull this in. All right, I think I'm ready to get rid of this because I don't like all this extra junk. I'm going to go here, page, reference. Hey, it took me there. And then it took me back. It's like, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Oh, now we're back to crapping out. All right, let's go see what my log says. What's it showing me for this nonsense? Inspect. Get rid of this. Nope. Don't get rid of that. Get rid of this. And then we're going to hit login. You know what? This will be a lot more useful if I actually put some console.log steps in here. Console.log JWT values.me. Well, it's undefined. It's nothing. Nothing at all. Error fetching cookie. What? Oh, this is where I was getting a problem, I think, yesterday. I mean, 404 not found. API cookie. See, it can't find my API cookie, which is actually part of this thing. So it was trying to run it, but it's trying to do this piece. Oh, no, it's not, because if it was, it would say cookie not found, cookie not found. It is writing the cookie not found. It is writing it. All right, let's put a piece in here. Let's go on. Does this tell me where I'm at? Oh, that's in the nav bar. Cookie not found. That's not in the auth. So I must have my nav bar console.logging. Nope, I do not. Where is that? Oh, is it my use Druid that's doing that? Somewhere I'm logging cookie not found. Or at least I thought it was. Oh, is that the error? Oh, maybe it's coming back as an error. Because it's not in there. Oh, there it is, console.log. Okay, so that's the cookie.found that it's logging right now. I like to use the tilde thing, but I'm not doing that right now. It just, I don't know, something about it. I just like not having to put the plus signs. Okay, so when I click login here, a whole bunch of crap happens. A lot of error looking stuff. Cannot update component. router while rendering a different component login page to locate the bad. Oh, that's probably because it's. Well, I don't have login page. I have auth page. That's what I called login page. Yeah, it's called login page. Okay, so it doesn't like something I'm doing here. Something I'm doing is bad. Maybe I don't want to do that. Will this stay in order? What if it runs in order? What if I go like this? Cannot access router before initialization. Oh, whoops. Okay, that might be a jumping ahead of the gun just a little bit. Uh-huh. Auth page, if, where are we? Whoa, we're way down here now? Oh. Constant cookie value equals set cookie. But this sets the cookie, but this is wrong because I'm not using this anymore. This is actually where I would want to do this again. Can I do this again? Call it a second time? How would I do that? Would I refresh it? Because I can't use constant again. Or could I just... No, you can't set it again. I just want it to redo it. Because... Or will it have changed? Or will I not have to do it? Will it just change as a result of... No, I can't. Because it's got to go get it. So I got to read the cookie again. So if I got rid of this, what if I go, oh jeez. Would this change if I do that? What if I put the DWIT values in here? And then go change this to set. DWIT values. And then ow. And then go, and we'll put it up here. And then we'll do something like set DWIT values equal to use DWIT. I'm pretty sure I am totally breaking rules here. Then take this guy. Actually, you know what? I am going to do it this way. I don't know. I like lowercase. Shouldn't matter, right? Nobody's going to cry. Alright, so we're going to go down here. And async event, prevent default, login user, email password, his login. His login, we're going to say oh, I'm totally not doing this right. I can just feel it going wrong. I'm losing it. It's crashing. It's burning. All right. We're going to have that. That'll be there. And then we're going to go not Jewett values.email. Oh boy. Huh, it's not even there anymore. This don't even exist anymore. What if I just took this whole thing out? I'm going to take the use effect off because I think that's not what I'm doing. I'll be right back. failed to compile. So I've just got me a bug now. Plain out in the open, straight up hand failing. What'd I do? Constant variable is declared here. Yeah. Cannot reassign. Wait, what? All right, what did I do wrong there? Because I know you can, that's how you set values, right? So we got set password. Should be able to be done with set twit values. Huh. Sidebar. Set sidebar. Set sidebar. Okay. Oh, do I need to do twit values equals? I thought set values just set it. All right. Because we got set password here. And here we're just passing in email and password. Am I even using those? Oh, I guess if email and password are changed. Those are set password right there. Set password, set email, but it's just the function. But they set it to this other thing. So, oh, yeah, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Man, syntax. Okay, learning syntax. All right, so we're going to go back to my auth page and my twit values. So I need to do something like, do I just say do twit values equals set twit? No, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. What am I doing wrong there? Nope, didn't like that either. Constant variable is declared here. Okay, so this has got to be a pretty basic thing here. Use state sidebar, and then here it says constant show sidebar, and then down here it just says show sidebar. So that's the variable it's getting set to. So set sidebar. This is such an entry-level thing, man. What is going on here? I'm just trying to see if I have any examples of how what am I doing wrong here? Because obviously I'm trying to do something that isn't one of the things I've asked. And I don't want to have to ask ChatGPT every time. There comes a point when I need to be able to just know the answer. I need to just be able to derive the correct way to do this stuff. And obviously I'm setting this JWT values, the set JWT values wrong, because it's saying it doesn't work, even though that's basically what it's doing in these other settings. Because that's what I've seen it doing here. Let's go back here. Alright, values. Set values. Goes down here. Set values. So these are the values it's going to pass. So values is the values of the object. Oh, do I need to, am I doing it wrong? Maybe I need to do like set values. Parenthesis. No, I was thinking it is squiggly. Yeah, it still feels wrong. Because that's, the brackets just derive multiples. Alright, let's go back over here. Maybe I'm using equals. Maybe that's my breakdown here. There's no equals. Let's just stick this in here. Alright, I'm going to go over to login here. Oh, we got past my problem. Hey, did I figure it out? Yay me. Okay. Now, let's see. Can I read properties of null? So it's actually coming back as null. Which it would if it's empty, but I would have thought it would have tried to process it. Because useDWT is supposed to go and read and come back as email being a null. But it's saying DWT values is coming back as a null. So let's go back to my DWT, useDWT page, utils. And so apparently we're not triggering whatever this is, because we're not returning a value for set values. So we're not triggering values getting set. So we're not triggering useEffect. If we're not triggering useEffect, if not values. And we're going to say set values. Email cookie not found. All right, let's try that. We will see where I'm at with that mess. Nope, still didn't work. Okay. So, are we not even coming in here? Console. Log. Getting cookie values. No cookie values. There's a lot going on here. Cannot read properties of null. No cookie values. So we are getting to the no cookie values thing. But it doesn't want me to set my cookie values. Because then when I return values, it's not liking it. Email. Alright, so we got that. Console.log switch values. I am theoretically sending back email as an object. Theoretically. In theory, I am setting console.log no cookie. No cookie. No cookie for you. All kinds of stuff going on. Still coming to this point. Cannot read property of null. Cannot read property of null lots of times. Alright, no cookie values. Getting cookie values. And then no cookie values again. So we're going in here. We're still getting no cookie values, but it keeps doing it. Because it goes no cookie. Getting cookie. No cookie. Getting cookie. And then we got cannot read property of null reading email. So we do get out of here. Even though I said getting, even though I tried to set the email value of the values object, the one thing it did not do is go into the use effect. I wonder if, oh wow, what is the deal with that? There's not supposed to be a comma there. There's not supposed to be a comma here either. What the heck, man? Putting commas in all kinds of weird places. What am I doing? Still didn't work, but I have commas at the end of my values and there's nothing to follow them. There's no comma there. Didn't fix anything, but at least it's no longer complaining about that. Or at least it doesn't have that to complain about. So, I might not be able to do this. I have a feeling, I feel like I tried to do this before and I set a string to one of these values and it just choked. And I feel like that's what's going on. It's like it's just not, you can't set a string that way. So I had to change it to a constant and then set it and it worked. Unless I, yeah, see there's no cookie. Well, this one, navbar reads the twits and it's saying no cookie values. Well, getting cookie, getting cookie. But navbar says cookie not found. See, that one read it. Navbar cookie not found. That one read whatever that returned. Now granted, I didn't set this the same way. I had this use drut values and I didn't use state. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I can't do this with the state. So I'm going to go back to my let's see what I got here. So the whole point, the only reason I wanted to use state instead of just setting it was because I need to recheck it after I do the login. So like after the handle login, I would still call it, but you can't reuse a variable. So I thought maybe if I set the state of the values and then I can reference them. But whatever's going on here, it doesn't want me to do it this way. It says, don't do this, man. Don't do it. It's going into my code. It's just not returning an actual object. Going in and it says no. Why am I not able to return this? That says no cookie, but this is not even a thing. This just says no cookie values, which is down here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna like my string. Let's try and do something else. Let's try something a little less, I don't know. I mean, I've done something similar and it worked, so this might not, I don't know, but I'm going to try this. Constant. No key. Result equals cookie not found. Go like this. Hey, what did happen? No, I jumped and I barked up the wrong tree. Same thing. No cookie values. Okay, so it isn't my... It won't let me just set it though. Something's weird about it. because it's coming in. Oh, wait. I mean, it is going in here. Oh, no, that's part of the use effect. Never mind. Why are you so out of wonk? Does not like that. It gets to the no cookie values, tries to set the values, and then return doesn't work. So that one worked. How come it worked when I did it there? Is it because I'm not triggering this? No, because we're there. If we get there, we should set. If we set, it's existing. Oh. Did I do that? Did I not terminate my line? I didn't terminate my line up here either. Oh, man. Is that it? Was that the problem? Nope. I didn't terminate my line, but that still didn't like it. No cookie. Cannot read properties of null, reading email. So it's like it got all the way to the use druid. It did its thing, came in, used druid, came back out. Now I'm doing this different though. I am using use druid values. Oh, maybe it's not setting it then. The set values is not, oh, so the problem isn't even probably my code here. I probably got it in here, I set it, but what it did, when it got out of here, it didn't set correctly in the page. That's what's going on. So this is not setting this. That's what's happening. I don't know. I guess I don't understand how set druid values works. All right, let's see. I'm going to go see what's going on here. Let's go ask. Let's go ask GPT again. I am getting a null, cannot read null error in this code. Values is not getting set properly. Properly. State updates are asynchronous, so when you try to log trueValues.email, it may still be null since the state hasn't updated yet. Probably you should update the state within a use effect hook, which allows you to run side effects like setting state. After the component is rendered, here's how you can do it. So, doing this and plugging it in. Here instead. Okay, so we're going to have a use effect that sets a constant for the use Druid, which I could probably just do inside without using a constant, because I don't understand using constants when you're only doing it once, but whatever. Empty dependency array ensures this runs once on mount, and then use effect whenever truth values changes. If truth values, then console.log truthvalues.email. So we handle login down here, and after it's logged in, I don't really need to do anything else. What is that doing? Inside of the body of a function component, this could have, oh god, here we go again with my misunderstanding of how. So I did it, and now it's saying I can't do it because I'm apparently not in the right place for it. Oh, because I'm using this, using state. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, that's not supposed to be a thing. Because I thought I had this work. Wasn't I already using this? Wasn't I already using this a minute ago? I don't. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of fixed that. Okay, cannot read properties of null reading. We're back to the same thing, though. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We're on navbar truth values. Where is this? Navbar doesn't like it? Navbar doesn't like it. Okay, so if navbar doesn't like it, it's a different problem. Maybe. It could just be going around in circles. I don't know. That's actually just the log that's reading it poorly, too. And this isn't even using state for this. What So it just says it's null coming in here now. Ugh. You know, I haven't eaten anything today. I need to take a break. I think I'm going to stop. I am going to come back, but I'm going to eat and change into some clothes that aren't from this morning. So, hey, thanks for stopping by, Jose, and also Dita and everybody else who said hi, came in, said hello, Sumit. I appreciate your stopping in, saying hello. I am going to take a break. I am going to come back, but I know some of you may have moved on to something else at that point. Maybe next time. Till then, take it easy.